She went to sleep alone and woke up pregnant. The police case that became an X-file in October 1987. A 26-year-old woman woke up with strange marks on her body, and 3 months later discovered something impossible. She was pregnant. The problem: she was a virgin and lived alone. What the police discovered in this case transformed everything we know about alien abduction. Today you're going to learn about the most disturbing case of extraterrestrial pregnancy ever documented by Brazilian police. A case that involved forensic investigation, DNA tests that challenged science, and revelations that were suppressed for decades. Get ready, because what you're about to discover will completely change your view of what really happens during alien abductions. The night that changed everything. Maria Aparecida Santos had a predictable routine in her small house in rural Minas Gerais. On October 14, 1987, she went to bed at 10 p.m. as she always did. But what happened that night would transform her into the center of the most enigmatic case Brazilian ufology has ever recorded. The next morning, Maria woke up with a strange sensation. Her body felt different, heavy. When she looked in the mirror, she saw something that made her stagger. Perfect triangular marks on her lower abdomen, burns that formed a geometric pattern impossible to self-inflict. But this was just the beginning. Maria realized she had lost exactly 4 hours and 37 minutes. Her last memory was the clock showing 10 p.m. when she fell asleep. The kitchen clock, which never stopped, showed 2:37 a.m. as the moment she returned to her house. But she had no memory whatsoever of those nearly 5 hours. The impossible becomes real 3 months later. In January 1988, Maria began feeling morning sickness. Worried, she sought out a local doctor. The test result left her in complete shock. She was approximately 3 months pregnant. The doctor, Dr. Enrique Mora, asked about the child's father. Maria's response was categorical and desperate. "This is impossible. I've never been with any man. I'm a virgin." Dr. Mora, initially skeptical, performed a detailed physical examination. To his complete astonishment, Maria's hymen was intact. It was an impossible medical situation. A woman 3 months pregnant who remained a virgin. Frightened and without scientific explanation, the doctor did something unusual. He contacted the police. The case reached Detective Roberto Fonseca, who treated the report seriously. He ordered a complete investigation. Maria was subjected to forensic examinations at the Medical Legal Institute of Belo Horizonte. All the reports confirmed she was really pregnant and her hymen remained intact. There were no signs of sexual violence. It was a case that defied all medical and criminal logic. But wait, this is just the beginning of the story. The repressed memories. Detective Fonseca, intrigued by the marks on Maria's body, consulted a specialist in unusual cases, psychologist Dr. Marcos Viana, who had experience with regressive hypnosis in trauma cases. With Maria's authorization, hypnosis sessions were conducted to try to recover the memories of those lost hours. What emerged from these sessions was absolutely terrifying. Under hypnosis, Maria described waking up paralyzed in her bed, unable to move a single muscle. An intense blue light filled her room, coming from above, passing through the ceiling as if it didn't exist. She reported feeling her body levitating, being pulled toward this light. The terror in her voice during the sessions was visceral and real. Maria described being in a circular room, with walls that seemed alive, pulsing with a soft light. Around her, beings approximately 4 feet tall, with large disproportionate heads, immense black eyes that seemed to see through her soul. She couldn't move, but was completely conscious. The beings communicated without speaking, directly into her mind. They showed images of a devastated planet Earth, dead oceans, gray skies, and then, the message that would change everything. You carry hope. You carry the future. The procedure, the most disturbing part of the recovered memories, came next. Maria described, in anguishing detail, a medical procedure performed by the beings. She was placed on a table that molded perfectly to her body. A device descended from the ceiling, emitting a green light that scanned her entire body. Then happened what abduction specialists call a reproductive procedure. Maria felt a deep internal sensation, as if something was being inserted directly into her uterus, but without any external physical penetration. The technology used was completely non-invasive from a physical perspective, but extremely invasive from a reproductive standpoint. The beings showed her images, an embryo being formed, a combination of human DNA with something else, something she couldn't comprehend. They transmitted that the child would be special, a bridge between two worlds, an attempt to preserve the best of humanity before it was too late. Maria then found herself back in her bed, with the 4 hours and 37 minutes completely erased from her conscious memory, but deeply engraved in her subconscious. The triangular marks on her abdomen were physical evidence of where the device had touched her skin. The police investigation detective Fonseca, now convinced that something extraordinary had happened, expanded the investigation. He discovered that other residents in the region had reported strange lights in the sky on the night of October 14th. A farmer 2 miles from Maria's house had photographed a luminous object hovering over the area. The photos showed a silver disc emitting an intense blue light. Analysis of the burns on Maria's body revealed something even more bizarre. The temperature necessary to create those marks would be approximately 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, but there was no damage to surrounding tissues. It was as if the energy had been applied with surgical precision, something completely beyond 1987 medical technology. Blood tests showed abnormally high levels of hormones that only appear during pregnancy, but also traces of chemical elements that shouldn't be present in the human body. The laboratory identified rare isotopes normally only found in meteorites. But the most shocking revelation came from ultrasound exams performed at 4 months of gestation. The impossible fetus. When Maria had her first detailed ultrasound, the doctors were perplexed. The fetus was developing normally in most aspects, but there were significant anomalies. The skull was proportionally larger than a typical human fetus. The eyes, even still in formation, were larger and more widely spaced than normal. More intriguing, the ultrasound captured something the doctors described as unknown structures in the fetal brain. There were areas of density and electrical activity that didn't correspond to known human brain anatomy. It was as if extra parts of the brain were developing. Dr. Mora consulted genetic specialists in Sao Paulo, sending samples of Maria's blood and amniotic fluid for DNA analysis. The results were censored by authorities who visited the laboratory days after the analysis. But Dr. Mora managed to make copies of the results before they were confiscated. The documents, which he kept secret for decades and only revealed recently, showed that the fetal DNA contained sequences that didn't correspond to any known human genome. There were extra genetic chains, with base pairs organized in a way that current science still cannot explain. 47 chromosomes instead of the usual 46 human ones. The military intervention in March 1988, when Maria was 5 months pregnant, men in civilian clothes but with clearly military bearing appeared at her house. They identified themselves only as federal authorities and demanded that Maria accompany them for routine exams at a specialized facility. Maria was taken to an unidentified military base, where she spent 3 days. During this period, she was subjected to extensive examinations. Military doctors performed ultrasounds, extracted more blood samples, and interrogated her repeatedly about the night of the abduction. They wanted every detail, every image, every sensation. On the 3rd day, Maria underwent a procedure she described as extremely painful. Without adequate anesthesia, the doctors extracted amniotic fluid directly from the uterus using a long needle. She heard whispered conversations between them. "The specimen is viable. We need the complete data. This confirms Project Aurora." Maria was then released with a clear and threatening warning: "Don't talk about this with anyone. For your family's sake, keep silent. This matter is a national security issue." All official medical records of the case were confiscated. Detective Fonseca was removed from the case and transferred to another precinct. Dr. Mora was advised not to discuss the case with anyone. But here comes the part that will make you rethink everything about what really happened. The birth and the disappearance in July 1988. Maria went into premature labor at 8 months of gestation. The delivery was fast, abnormally fast for a first pregnancy. In less than 2 hours, the child was born. According to the few witnesses present, the baby was extraordinary. A girl with delicate features, but with unusually large eyes and a head proportionally larger than typical human babies. She didn't cry at birth. Instead, she emitted a soft, almost melodic sound. Her eyes, even newborn, seemed to focus and follow movements with an awareness impossible for a neonate. The baby's skin had a slightly silvery tone under certain lights. The fingers were long and thin. The female doctors present were simultaneously fascinated and disturbed. One of them tried to document the birth with photos, but all the images came out completely white, overexposed, as if the child emitted some kind of interference. 12 hours after birth, the same men in civilian uniforms returned. They took the baby, claiming she needed special care in an advanced neonatal unit due to delivery complications. Maria, still weak and confused, didn't have the strength to resist. They promised she could see the child in a few days. Maria never saw her daughter again. All attempts to locate the child were blocked. The birth certificate disappeared from registry office files. The hospital denied the delivery had happened there. Witnesses were silenced, transferred, or convinced not to talk. Maria herself began to doubt her memories. Connections to other cases, but Maria's story isn't isolated. And this is what makes everything even more disturbing. Ufology researchers discovered that between 1985 and 1990, there were at least 47 documented cases worldwide of women who became pregnant under inexplicable circumstances after abduction experiences. Most of these cases were suppressed, filed in classified sections of government agencies. Project Aurora, mentioned by the military during Maria's detention, is supposedly a classified military research program that investigates interactions between humans and extraterrestrial intelligences, specifically focused on hybridization programs. Documents leaked in 2003 suggested the project began in the 1960s and continues active to this day. An insider from the program, who identified himself only as Falcon, revealed in an anonymous testimony that underground facilities exist where hybrid children are studied and raised. According to him, these children possess extraordinary cognitive abilities, IQs above 200, telepathic abilities, capacity to access information without traditional learning. The objective: to prepare humanity for future mass contact with extraterrestrial civilizations, creating a generation of mediators who can serve as a bridge between the two species. Or perhaps, as some darker theorists suggest, to preserve human DNA in a genetic archiving program before a catastrophic event. Physical evidence that cannot be denied. Let's return to the concrete evidence from Maria's case. In 2018, 30 years after the events, a Brazilian investigative journalist named Lucas Ferreira gained access to Dr. Moura's personal files, who had died months earlier. Among his belongings were copies of the DNA tests he had secretly kept. Ferreira took the documents for analysis by independent geneticists in 3 different countries. All reached the same conclusion: the documented DNA sequences don't correspond to any known human genetic pattern. There are segments that appear artificially constructed, organized with a precision that suggests intentional design, not natural evolution. Even more disturbing, when the sequences were compared with current genetic databases, they found partial matches with DNA found in artifacts discovered at ancient archaeological sites in Peru and Egypt. Artifacts dating back 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. How is this possible? The burn marks on Maria's body were also recently photographed and analyzed by forensic experts. The triangular pattern forms a sacred geometry known as the flower of life, a symbol found in ancient cultures around the world, always associated with cosmic knowledge and the creation of life. The reunion here's the revelation that will change everything you just heard. In 2019, Maria, now 58 years old, received an unexpected visit. A young woman, approximately 30 years old, appeared at her door. She had unusual characteristics: large expressive eyes, a presence that radiated intense calm, movements that seemed slightly too fluid. The young woman looked at Maria and said simply, "Mother." Maria fainted. When she woke up, the young woman was still there, real, holding her hand. She introduced herself only as Iris. She said she had grown up in a special facility, surrounded by other children like her. Children who were different, special, raised and educated for a greater purpose. Iris explained that at age 18, she and other hybrids were quietly released into society, with fabricated identities and specific missions, to work in fields like science, medicine, diplomacy, technology. Their function was to accelerate human development, discreetly prepare humanity for inevitable contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. She revealed to Maria that there are thousands of hybrids like her around the world, most without knowing their true origin. Some work in governments, technology companies, research institutes. They're designed to have superior intelligence, amplified empathy, and an intuitive understanding of complex systems. Iris had abilities that defied explanation. She could predict events with disturbing accuracy. She demonstrated telepathic capability, transmitting thoughts directly to Maria. She showed knowledge of languages she had never studied, and she revealed that her existence was part of a much larger program, coordinated by a coalition of extraterrestrial races concerned about Earth's fate. The final message: Iris spent 3 days with Maria, sharing information she was authorized to reveal. According to her, humanity is at a critical turning point. Within the next 10 to 15 years, catastrophic events will force official recognition of extraterrestrial presence. The hybridization program was implemented as a contingency plan. The hybrids are genetically resistant to radiation, diseases, and extreme environmental conditions. They were designed to survive in a post-catastrophe world and help rebuild human civilization. But more importantly, they serve as living proof that humans and extraterrestrials can coexist, that hybridization is not only possible but can result in something extraordinary. Iris showed Maria telepathic images of a possible future: floating cities, clean technology powered by energy that defied known physics, humans and extraterrestrials working side by side. But she also showed the alternative path: a planet devastated by war, pollution, and social collapse. The choice, according to Iris, still belongs to humanity. The hybrids are only catalysts, not saviors. They can offer knowledge, technology, guidance, but the final decision about the future remains with humanity collectively. Before leaving, Iris left Maria with a small device, the size of a coin, that emitted a soft light. "If you need me, press this and think of me. I'll be there." And then, she disappeared in the same mysterious way she had appeared. The case continues. Maria today lives in seclusion, but has shared her complete story with selected researchers. She keeps the device with her always. According to her, she has used it 3 times, and each time Iris appeared, helping her in difficult moments. The case of Maria Aparecida Santos remains one of the most well-documented and disturbing in modern ufology. Physical evidence, multiple testimonies, medical documentation, police and military involvement, and now the reunion with her hybrid daughter create a picture that is impossible to ignore. The implications are profound. If this case is real, and all the evidence suggests it is, then human extraterrestrial hybridization is not science fiction. It's an ongoing reality, supervised by non-human intelligences, with the knowledge and possible participation of governments around the world. How many other women have gone through similar experiences? How many other hybrids exist among us? And most importantly, what does this mean for the future of the human species? These questions remain without official answers, but cases like Maria's force us to confront a possibility that many would prefer to ignore. We are not alone, we never have been, and they have plans for us that go far beyond our current understanding. If this case impacted you as much as it impacted us, subscribe now to the channel E.T. Bailu and the 49 Races. Every week we bring revelations like this, documented cases that mainstream media refuses to cover, evidence that challenges everything we've been taught about our reality. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos, where we'll reveal the leaked documents from Project Aurora and show real photos of other human extraterrestrial hybrids who have been identified around the world. And in the comments, answer me, do you believe that hybrids like Iris really exist among us? Do you know anyone with unexplainable abilities who could be a hybrid without knowing? Share your experiences. This channel is a safe space to discuss what society isn't ready to accept yet. The next video will reveal something even more shocking: the 12 human extraterrestrial hybrids who occupy positions of power in world governments at this very moment. You won't want to miss it. The truth is here, and it's stranger than any fiction.